Hello everyone! Welcome to our channel where we bring you the most recent and exciting movies. Today we present to you Joshua, the conqueror of the Promised Land. This movie is truly inspiring and will be a great blessing to you. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss any of our future uploads. For 40 years, the Israelites waited and prepared to take possession of the Promised Land. They wandered in the wilderness, learning obedience, faith, and dependence on God. Now, with Moses, their leader, gone, it's up to Joshua to lead the people into battle against formidable Canaanite cities with towering walls, well-trained armies, and powerful magic. But God is with Joshua. He reassures Joshua of his presence and guides him step by step in conquering the land. And as Joshua leads Israel to victory, he inspires them to live out their identity as God's people. God gives Israel victories over the Canaanites because of their obedience and faithfulness to him. Can a ragtag group of former slaves really defeat well-trained Canaanite armies? Yes, because God was with them. In today's video, we will see how this group of people who were destined to be slaves forever became conquerors of a nation just because they believed in the promises of God. Let us dive right into the video. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the Israelites are ready to conquer the Promised Land. Moses has died and God tells Joshua, one of Moses' close friends, that he will replace him, so the task of leading the Israelites to victory now falls upon Joshua. God tells him to cross the Jordan River and take the land for the Israelites. At first, Joshua is scared to go to war with the Canaanites. He is afraid because he knows that the Canaanites have big, strong armies that are very well trained in fighting. Joshua knows that he and the Israelites do not stand a chance against such a strong army. Joshua asks God for help, saying, "Oh, Lord God, what shall I do? I am only a man who does not know what to say, for I am not quick with words. I was not then ready for the task. Neither was I yesterday, nor have I ever been. But my God said to me, 'You shall not go unarmed before Pharaoh. What shall I do?' God tells Joshua to tell the Israelites to bring some big stones across the Jordan River and set them up as a monument. Then God tells Joshua that he will show him what to do when they arrive in Canaan. When the Israelites arrived in Canaan, the spies told them about how strong the Canaanite cities were. In particular, Jericho was a well-fortified city with high walls. No one could attack and destroy such a strong city, but Joshua and the Israelites were going there because God had promised it to them. So Joshua set up camp near Jericho. When the commander of God's army appeared before Joshua, he told him that they would walk around the city once every day for 6 days. On the 7th day, they would walk around the city 7 times, and when they did that, they were to shout and blow their trumpets. On that day, the city walls would collapse and the Israelites could take the city. Joshua obeyed God and did everything he was told. But after 6 days of walking around the city once a day, the Israelites felt humiliated because they weren't able to destroy such an easy city. Some of them even said, "Why have you brought us to this miserable land? We can't beat the Canaanites. We should go back to Egypt." They wanted to go back to slavery in Egypt rather than face defeat in Canaan. Joshua encouraged the people to keep going. He reminded them of all the great things God had done for them since he took them out of Egypt. He also reminded them that the Canaanites were defeated already, but they didn't know it yet. The next day, Joshua woke up early and told the people to get ready. They marched around Jericho 7 times. When they finished the 7th round, the trumpeters blew loudly and the Israelites shouted. The ground began to shake and the city walls collapsed. The Israelites attacked and took Jericho. They killed all the people in the city except for Rahab and her family. She was a prostitute who helped the Israelites enter the city. As they destroyed Jericho, God told Joshua to spare Rahab and her family because she showed kindness to the Israelites. Sometime later, the Israelites went to fight against the Amori kings. These kings were giants who looked like they came from another planet. The Israelites feared the giants and refused to fight. Joshua was angry because the Israelites forgot what God had done for them in the past. Joshua was angry, but God told him to stop being upset. God gave the Israelites victory over the Amori kings because of their lack of faith. Joshua named the place where the battle happened the Valley of Trouble. It was a reminder for the Israelites to remember God's help in their life. While the Israelites were in camp, some people from the nearby city of Gibeon came to make peace with them. They told Joshua that they wanted to be under his rule. The Gibeonites tricked Joshua. They made their bread look old and dusty. They wore old clothes and tied old sandals on their feet. The Gibeonites fooled Joshua because they wanted to make a treaty with him so they would be destroyed. After making a treaty with the Gibeonites, Joshua led the Israelites to fight against the neighboring nations. Even though these nations weren't part of the treaty, they had to be destroyed because they allied themselves with the Hivites, one of the groups that made a treaty with the Israelites. One day, Joshua and the Israelites fought against the Canaanites at Mount Gilboa. But God helped Joshua and the Israelites win. God gave the land of Canaan to the Israelites because they followed and obeyed God. After winning the battle, Joshua built a large altar at Mount Ebal, which was opposite Mount Gerizim. He wrote down the laws that God had given Moses. Then he read the laws aloud to the people. He told them to obey the laws if they wanted God to bless them and protect them. Joshua warned them that God would curse them if they broke the laws. Then Joshua placed 12 stones on top of the altar. Each stone monolith stood for one of the 12 tribes of Israel. All the people, leaders and elders of Israel were there when this happened. As the people were leaving, they had to stay away from the things that belonged to the Lord. They left the altar there and went to their homes. A long time after Joshua, the Israelites kept breaking God's laws. They worshipped other gods, which made God very sad. So he let other nations conquer them and take them away from their land. But God always kept a small group of Israelites to continue their family line. God always keeps his promises. He will one day allow the Israelites to return to their land. Joshua's work was done, so God gave him rest from all his troubles. Joshua lived a long life. He saw many good things happen during his lifetime. Before he died, he called the people together. He reminded them of everything God had done for them. He told them not to forget God, because he would be with them always. Joshua reminded the Israelites to obey God's laws, so God would keep his promise to bless them and make them a great nation. Then Joshua died and was buried. He became an example of faith for the people of Israel. God continued to help the Israelites, and they grew into a strong nation. A circumcision ceremony was performed for all the men in Israel. This was a sign of their loyalty to God. It was also a way for them to remember the promises they had made to God. This event was important because it showed that all the men in Israel belonged to God. It also showed that they were willing to follow God's laws. Circumcision was a physical sign of the special relationship between God and the people of Israel. It reminded them that they were chosen by God and that they had to live according to his laws. The circumcision ceremony was a joyful occasion. It was a time for the community to come together and celebrate their faith in God. It was also a time for the men to become part of the covenant that God had made with Abraham. The event was an important part of the history of Israel. It marked the beginning of their journey as a people who were set apart for God. The story of Joshua is a story of faith and obedience. Joshua led the Israelites into the promised land and helped them defeat their enemies. He was a faithful leader who trusted in God and followed his instructions. The Israelites faced many challenges along the way, but they were able to overcome them because of their faith in God and Joshua's leadership. The story of Joshua is an inspiration for us today. It teaches us the importance of faith, obedience, and trust in God. It also teaches us the importance of having a strong leader who is willing to follow God's guidance. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. We always have something new and exciting planned for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. We hope you have a wonderful day.